Hello, I'm Lily Godzilla and I have a treat for you today. We are working on my Aztec temple bonsai grouping. These are all Ficus benjamina, and they're all actually clippings that came from bigger ficus I've had. Now, originally, I had a much bigger one in here when I started, and my plan was I was going to cut it back and hope offshoots would grow, and I'd get this nice, thick, short little trunk. But that one was way too cute to cut the top off of it, and we're actually going to do a bunch of work on that when we're done with this guy. Right now, I just really wanted to show this off because I'm really proud of it. And there's just a few little clippings I'm going to do, and then I'll give it a little spritzing and a watering, and just let everyone see what we have here. So I'm going to start off just giving it a nice little slow rotation so everyone can see it. Because this thing is, in my opinion, gorgeous from every angle. I built this entirely out of foam and acrylic paint, and I cut each one of these blocks out individually. And it was fun, but it was painstaking. So we're going to start off, I have just a few little extra scragglies. I have a couple little cobwebs, I'll probably not pick it up on camera. Just a little basic cleansing. So I'm getting a little bunched in a few areas. Like if you look right into here, I'm bunched off. I'm going to clip this out right here. I'm going to clip this leaf and this guy out. So if we go in here, make sure I see where I'm cutting. I'll snip them out just to make a little more space in here. Okay, I'll give it a nice little spin. I like to continue to look from different angles. Now this guy is still cluttered in here, but I don't want to lose my offshoot, so I'm just going to clip this one individual leaf out. So again, just to make it look a little more, hopefully it's breathing a little easier. And I just like to continually rotate and look from all angles. Okay, now this guy back here, I'm just going to do a little clip on this leaf. Again, I didn't need to do much work on this. I really just kind of wanted to show it off. I like this little guy down here. It's getting a nice, it's swooping out over the edge of the pot, and I'm really happy with how this one in particular is coming out. Happy with this one that we did some trimming. This guy is still bunchy. So I'm going to do a little trim right here. And do a little trim right here. And it's going to really thin this guy out. It's going to look a little scraggly for the time being, but it's going to get new leaves and do great. Okay. Come back around. And I got my main top guy I'm pretty happy with. Alright, I think that's basically it for my Aztec temple. I just wanted to show it off, let everyone see it while we're still early in this channel so everyone has an opportunity to watch it grow and evolve. Also, I have a lot of work on the ficus that was originally in here that we're going to be doing next, and I figured this is the perfect time to introduce this plant. So I'm going to give it a little misting, and then we're going to pull out the other plant. Get all my leaves covered good, get the cobwebs and the dust off. You have to be careful with Ficus benjamina likes to drop their leaves really easily. They get too much of a draft or too much of a temperature change. I give this guy a nice light water in usually with the mister. Get into my temple good because this guy's roots are probably not all the way down to the bottom yet. And I think that will do it for our Aztec temple. We'll pull this guy out of here and get the next one. Okay. This next guy is big. I'm going to insert a few pictures from when this guy was in the Aztec temple, and I just want to show what my original plan was. So when this was coming out of the top of the temple originally, I was going to do a massive cut right here and cut all of this off. And hopefully get an offshoot or two down here. And once I got an offshoot or two below this one, I was going to cut this one off. And then have a really short, thick one that only had a little few branches. And I thought it would have looked cool. But this guy is just, it was too gorgeous for me to cut. It was a lot smaller at the time. I put it in this bigger pot and it really took off. But now it's time for a more traditional bonsai pot. So we have this here, and hopefully it's not too small of a pot for this guy. We're going to try some little tie downs with my weights to give some nice weepy bends. And I think it's going to look cute. So we're going to start pulling rocks and dirt out of here and get this plant out of here and get ready to put it into here. I'm going to put all the rocks down on the side so we can potentially use them to decorate in the next pot, but obviously we're not going to be able to reuse all of them. And I'm interested to see how my roots went since it's been in this bigger pot. It's only been in this bigger pot for maybe 6 months. Pull these over here. Alright, where's my chopstick? Just like to loosen everything up a little bit. Oh, look at that. We got a big root running out there. That's almost guaranteed to get clipped.
Okay. Get this all nice and loose and let's see how we're looking. Still fairly tight in there.
And you gotta forgive me, we're kind of in the middle of moving and I got some things packed up, so I actually don't know where all my little shovels are, so we're using an old spoon. So I get up underneath there. Feels like I'm probably gonna have a big taproot going down. And I'm really just being careful not to make a giant mess here because a lot of this dirt's gonna want to spill out.
I'm doing this inside because I want to try to film it, and if I was doing it outside, I wouldn't have to worry as much about such a mess. So I don't want to spend all night vacuuming dirt, so I'm going to be extra careful.
I don't want to disturb my roots too much just yet. Looks like they're growing really healthy. Okay. Put this down over here. Out of our way again. Alright. Just going to do a light, gentle raking. So I can see where my roots really are. Okay. Alright. And they're longer than I thought, not as radial as I would like. But I'm not as brave as some other people that I've seen on YouTube. I love watching Nigel Saunders, but I can never cut all the roots off like he does and cut so much of the foliage off. I just don't have the courage. But we are going to do a little bit of root clipping. This one guy just goes out way too long and way too big, but I like where it starts coming off. So I'm going to actually just clip it around here. Oh, my clippers are dull. Let me use this. This should still get it. Yeah. My good clippers are packed up too. Okay, now I don't know, this one might die off, but it probably will get some smaller little outcroppings and I'll be happy with that. I'm going to clip just a few of these, but not too much. Just try to get it nice and flat. This doesn't have a huge radial root base, but it's fairly good. Now these are just, it's so thick, it's going to cause a problem in the future. So, we'll get it back around here. There we go. And I think that's it for the roots. I'm going to get this planted into the pot and we'll work on the foliage. However, first I need to dump this dirt off of here. I didn't plan this out so great. Just give me 1 second. Yeet. And we're back. Okay. So I am hoping hoping to get away with not having to wire it to the bottom of the pot and just use some weight from the soil and the rocks. Okay, so first we gotta figure out where I'm gonna want my front. And this comes towards me too much. I put this as my front. It only has this one coming towards the front, so I think this will be my front, and since it's going to swoop this way, I'll orient it to this far side of the tray. Grab a little bit of my soil I got ready. I'm going to put more than I need, or hopefully it's more than I need, so I can kind of just scoot it all in. Now this is a mix I made myself of regular potting soil, a little bit of the succulent mix of potting soil, and then some regular pea gravel, and I do not remember exactly what blend of what. And this soil usually drains really well for me. Let's see, I'm a little closer to the back than I want to be. Just reposition over here. Careful not to pack it tight. You want it to drain good. Get my soil settled in. Again, being very careful not to pack it too tight. I want it just a little lower than the edge of my lip. Let's scoop a little extra away. Alright. Give it a nice spin and see how it looks. I'm happy with this pot. I was afraid it was going to be too small, but I think it complements this tree pretty well, especially when I get my get a nice little bend in these boughs. So it is holding itself up fairly well. Let me pack a little bit behind it to give it a little better posture. One thing I don't have. Give my tree some good posture. Alright, so this is going to be the back, and this will be our front. I'm going to pick a rock that I think will look cute there. There we go. That will help just hold it all in place and just, give a little extra appeal to it all. So we're going to start off, I'm going to tie a little weight to this to try to pull it down. I got a few extra little fishing sinkers under here and some string. Cut a length of string. Again, this is just regular hemp. I'm not totally sure what weight I'm going to need yet. This feels like it bends fairly easy, so I'm going to take a small weight. I think this is a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight. Not totally certain. They got cycled out of my tackle box because I don't like these shape. So I just tie them up on there. Cut off my tag end, and then similar to how I bend branches that I tie down, I'll start with my finger and I'll just kind of find a spot where it bends where I prefer it. So I think I'm going to be right about here. I don't know if this weight is going to be enough for this one though. Oh yeah, I think this weight will be plenty. Nice. Okay, so we tie a loop and we make sure that we're not too long where we're hitting bottom. This is going to be easier to work with the shorter piece. Cut a little extra off of that. Okay, let me try to do this where everyone can see. There was my spot. Tie a loop, then a square knot, and pull them tight to each other. And then I go over the square knot and tie another square knot back down, connecting them so it won't allow it to slide anymore very easily. Once it's all cinched in place, then I just do one more square knot underneath it all, and that will hold it in place. It could still slide, but it won't slide easily on its own, and that way you can make adjustments. And I am hanging a little low, but not below the bottom of the pot, so that should be fine. Let me spin it and see how my arc looks. And, pretty happy with that. Let's see what it looked like without the weight. If I lift it up like this, you can see it was up here without the weight. And that one little weight brings it all the way down to there. You can add more and more weight to give it more and more severe of a bend, but I'm pretty happy with that right now, I think. So we're going to do something similar to this one back here. And this one feels a little thicker. I'm going to use a slightly bigger weight. This one should be a full ounce tungsten. And again, I do my same thing with my finger. Find where I want it to bend. And this guy is probably going to be out a little further. Let's see if this is too much weight for it or not. I think that will be good. So again, I got too much string. I'm always cutting off too much string. Cut that short. Tie a loop. Tie another square knot below the loop. Tie a square knot above the loop. And then one more below it. If I can get it. Come on, baby. There we go. Cinch it up. And see where we get. And again, you can see without the weight, it's up here. With the weight, it's down there. So you can add bigger weights to it. You can put the weights further to the end. This will leave marks in the plant like wire will. Unlike wire though, it really has to be in there a long time. It will only leave it on one little spot instead of looping around it. And I've never seen anyone else use this technique. I'm sure other people do, but I really like it to give nice swooping, weeping branches. So now we're just going to give it another good look. Always rotating, always looking at different angles. I have this bit that comes towards the front, and I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. Okay. And this back one is getting a really nice arch on its own. So I am going to leave this one to continue on its own. I am going to cut the tip so it stops growing long and gets an offshoot. Actually, no, I'm not. I was thinking about that, but I don't want an offshoot on there. I'm going to let that continue to grow and just see where that one goes. I do have this offshoot up here that's going to threaten to become the new apex though, so I will clip that. Because I do not want an apex coming off the top of one of my arches. Now this guy, I still don't know what to do with this guy. Thinking about trying to train it over to the side more. So I'm going to tie it from here down to here. And in order to do that, I'm going to drill a little hole in the side of my plastic pot. So I do not have that prepared. I am going to grab my drill and we'll be right back. So I guess we'll do a little cut here and I'll be back in a minute. And we're back with power tools. So let me just double check where I'm going to bend at. Let me put this out of the way actually now that I got it. Now I got it in the way. Alright, so we're going to bend down like this and I want to pull it back this way. I'll have a string coming from here to right around here somewhere. And just very carefully and gently. It's one of the reasons why I like plastic pots. So now I'm going to start my bend back behind this leaf. I'll do my same attachment. I do a loop, a knot, cinch it somewhat tight. And then another square knot above the loop. Cinch that somewhat tight. It's easier without a hemp, but that's all I have right now. And another square knot below it. And then pull that all tight. There we go. Now, go down through our hole. And we pull it tight. We want to start right behind our leaf, so let's readjust this. There we go. Now I want to see how much I'm bending. Pull our posture back this way a bit too, so let me just lean the rock up against there to keep it standing that way. There we go. Alright, let's tie this off. No fancy knots here, just a whole bunch of square knots. Make sure though that you put your finger up here to keep your tension about the same as you pull it tight. And be gentle on your plants so you don't break them. Okay, one more square knot. And we'll trim off the tag end or our access. And I'm going to give another good spin. Give it a good look for myself. Seen some funny bunching in here. I'm definitely going to want to clear out some of this. Let's see. I gotta push my posture a little forward. I kind of pulled it back a little with some of the weights. So we will reorient it forward again. Some extra soil back there, help hold it in place. There we go, that looks good. And now I call these parts on the underside of the arch like the armpit, and it's got hairy armpits. We got to do a little trimming, so just going to do a little clip there, and a little clippy clip and clippy clip. There we go. I give that one more look. Oh yeah, I still got a little bunching in there. So let's see, we got this guy. This guy is starting to come out the back. And we got a little guy right here. That opens that up a lot better. One more little armpit hair guy we gotta take care of. I think that will do it. Let's see if we got any other little straggler armpits on our other arch. Oh yeah, I gotta stop using that word. We'll get this guy. And this little one right here. I think that might be it. Give it one more good spin. Always like to spin my bonsai. I'm just using a Lazy Susan that we found at a yard sale, and it works really good for me. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. I will probably continue to, as it settles in and the roots grow and it settles itself, I might continue to readjust its posture. Just making sure it stays fairly straight at the beginning before it does all our fun stuff. Pretty happy with this. I think I'll call this done. I hope everybody had fun with my Amazon Temple Bonsai and my other Ficus benjamina. I know I had a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video, and thank you for watching.